Backyards look harmless. A little green, a few flowers, maybe a fruit tree if you're lucky. But the truth is, the backyard isn't always legal. Some plants can land you in real trouble, not because they look scary, not because they're rare, but because of what they can be turned into, what they can do to a child or pet, or what they do to ecosystems once they escape. Today, I'm breaking down 25 plants you can't legally grow freely in the United States and the exact reason why. We're talking drug laws, deadly poisoning, and invasive species that can wreck land and waterways. And stay with me, because number one on this list looks like a normal, beautiful flower, but federal law can treat it like evidence. Now, if you like content that uncovers the hidden history behind plants, food, and the laws that shaped what people can grow, subscribe to Buried Nature Archive. This channel is for people who want the real story, not the pretty version. Quick safety and legal note before we start. This is education, not advice. Laws vary by state and even by county. Do not grow, import, or try to propagate controlled plants. And some of these are dangerous to touch or deadly if ingested, especially for kids and pets. Also, when I say illegal, I mean one of four things. First, controlled substance plants, drug source plants where cultivation can be treated as intent. Second, poisonous or high-risk plants that get banned or restricted by local rules, schools, parks, or public health guidance. Third, invasive species bans, where selling, transporting, or planting them is prohibited. Fourth, regulated or quarantined plants, restricted to protect agriculture from pests and diseases. So why does the U.S. ban plants at all? 5 main reasons: drugs and diversion risk, public safety, especially poisoning and burns, ecosystem collapse from invasive spread, infrastructure and property damage like roots cracking foundations and waterways getting clogged, and agriculture protection because one plant can help wipe out a crop industry. All right, let's count them down. Number 25, water hyacinth. It looks like a harmless pond flower, pretty, floating, and calm, but this plant can multiply fast enough to smother waterways, choke out native life, and block sunlight so fish habitats collapse underneath. It also jams boats, clogs drainage, and turns lakes into stagnant mats. That's why many places restrict or ban it. The takeaway: if it can take over a lake, it can't be treated like a cute decoration. Number 24, hydrilla. This one is infamous for starting as an aquarium or pond plant and then escaping into public water. Once it gets loose, it forms dense underwater forests that tangle propellers, block light, and suffocate ecosystems. It's a nightmare to control. A lot of states ban its sale and transport for that reason. The takeaway: aquatic invasives don't stay in your pond. Number 23, purple loosestrife. People planted it because it looked like a pollinator paradise. The problem is what it does to wetlands. It builds dense stands that crowd out native plants that birds and fish rely on. When that habitat collapses, everything collapses. That's why it's banned or heavily restricted in many places. The takeaway: good for bees doesn't mean good for nature. Number 22, garlic mustard. It doesn't look dangerous at all. Small white flowers, simple leaves, and it even smells kind of edible. But it spreads aggressively and releases chemicals into the soil that sabotage other plants, especially native forest species. It can turn a diverse woodland into a monoculture carpet. Many states restrict it. The takeaway: some weeds don't just compete, they poison the playing field. Number 21, tree of heaven. This one was planted as a fast-growing shade tree. Then people learned it spreads like a problem, sends up shoots everywhere, and can damage sidewalks and foundations. On top of that, it's a known host for major pests like the spotted lanternfly, which is a serious threat to orchards and vineyards. Many places treat it like an enemy. The takeaway: fast shade can come with a long-term curse. Number 19, Japanese knotweed. It was sold as an ornamental because it grows tall and looks neat from a distance, but it doesn't behave like a normal plant. It spreads through rhizomes that are hard to kill, and it can crack pavement, damage walls, and wreck property value because removal is expensive and difficult. Many regions restrict it. The takeaway: some plants aren't landscaping, they're structural threats. Number 18, kudzu. It was introduced for erosion control and looked like a miracle vine. Then it started swallowing everything, trees, fences, fields, because it grows aggressively and smothers what's beneath it. It became the symbol of a plant that can overtake entire landscapes. Many states ban planting it. The takeaway, helpful introductions can become disastrous. Number 17, giant hogweed. It looks dramatic and impressive. The danger is the sap. If it gets on your skin and then sunlight hits you, you can get serious burns, blistering, and long-lasting scarring. It's a public safety hazard, and authorities often order removal and restrict it. The takeaway, not all danger is ingestion, some danger is contact. Number 16, poison hemlock. This is one of the worst kinds of plants because it looks like something safe. It resembles wild carrot and parsley to the untrained eye, but it contains toxins that can paralyze the body and shut down breathing. Communities treat it with extreme caution and often remove it anywhere people might come into contact with it. The takeaway, lookalikes kill. Number 15, oleander. Mid-century America loved oleander because it blooms hard and survives drought. The issue is simple. It's extremely toxic. A small amount can kill pets, livestock, and, in tragic cases, children. Because it's common in warm climates, some places restrict where it can be planted, especially around schools and public spaces. The takeaway, hardy landscaping isn't worth a lethal yard. Number 14, foxglove. This one looks like a cottage garden dream, but foxglove contains powerful heart-affecting chemicals. In medicine, those compounds were refined and carefully dosed. In a yard, there is no safe dose control. Accidental ingestion is the concern, and that's why many safety guides treat it as a high-risk plant around kids and pets. The takeaway, medicine in the wrong dose is poison. Number 13, castor bean plant. People plant it for the bold leaves and dramatic seed pods. The danger is the seeds, which contain ricin, one of the most dangerous natural toxins. Even small exposures can be life-threatening. Because of that, some areas restrict it, and many institutions won't allow it on grounds. The takeaway, one plant can be a decoration and a disaster. Number 12, rosary pea. Those red and black seeds look like beads, which is exactly the problem. People use them for jewelry and crafts. Inside is a toxin so potent that a cracked seed can be fatal if chewed. It's been restricted and treated as a serious hazard because of how tempting it looks. The takeaway, pretty seeds can be lethal bait. Number 11, white snake root. This one caused a real historical nightmare, milk sickness. When livestock grazed it, the toxin could pass into milk and poison families. That history is why farmers and landowners treat it with zero tolerance near pasture land. The takeaway, a plant can poison you without you ever touching it. Now let's shift into the plants that are illegal mainly because of drug law and controlled substance policy. This is where it's just a plant stops being a defense. Number 10, koff. A tidy shrub with leaves that act as a stimulant when chewed. In some cultures, it's traditional. In the U.S., the active compound is treated like a controlled stimulant, and possession or cultivation can bring serious legal trouble. The takeaway, cultural tradition doesn't override controlled substance law. Number 9, coca plant. It doesn't look like a villain, just a leafy shrub, but it's the raw material for cocaine. That's why U.S. law treats cultivation as an immediate red flag. Even if someone claims curiosity or botany, authorities focus on what the plant becomes once processed. The takeaway, some plants are illegal because the system assumes intent. Number 8, peyote cactus. Small, slow-growing, and historically sacred in certain Native American religious contexts. U.S. law has narrow religious exemptions for specific use, but outside that, peyote is treated as a controlled hallucinogenic plant. The takeaway, exceptions exist, but they're narrow and regulated.
Number 7, ayahuasca vine. The vine itself is tied to preparations associated with DMT, a controlled psychedelic. That relationship is enough to place it under heavy restriction in the U.S., even though the plant doesn't thrive easily in most American climates. The takeaway, the law regulates what a plant enables, not how easy it is to grow. Number 6, kratom. This one is complicated because the U.S. is a patchwork. Some states ban it outright, others restrict it, and some allow it. The concern is dependence, health risks, and inconsistent dosing in commercial products. Cultivation and possession can be legal in one place and criminal in another. The takeaway: legality can change by zip code. Number 5. Ephedra. Ephedra has a long history in traditional medicine, but modern regulation targets ephedrine-related stimulant effects and the health risks tied to misuse, heart strain, strokes, and severe reactions. Many ephedra products were pulled, and some species face restrictions. The takeaway: a plant can be traditional and still too risky for modern markets. Number 4. Monkshood, also called wolfsbane. This plant isn't banned because it spreads, it's banned or heavily discouraged because it's brutally toxic. Some toxins can even be absorbed through skin contact. Historically, it's been tied to poisonings for a reason. The takeaway: some plants are controlled because they're basically a hazard in flower form. Number 3. Betel nut palm. The palm looks like pure tropical beauty. The concern is the seed. Betel nut chewing has been strongly linked to serious long-term health damage, including oral cancers. Restrictions and scrutiny aren't always about invasion or intoxication. Sometimes they're about public health harm. The takeaway: a plant can be legal in nature and still treated as a danger because of what it does to humans. And number 2. The plant that gets people in trouble because it spreads, damages property, and costs cities a fortune. Japanese knotweed, again, deserves this slot in many real-life situations because of the legal and financial mess it creates for homeowners. In some places, you're not just discouraged from planting it, you're obligated to control it, and disclosure laws can come into play during property sales. The takeaway: some plants don't just break ecosystems, they break bank accounts. And number 1. Opium poppy. This is the one I teased. A normal-looking garden flower. Soft petals, pretty colors, even familiar seeds used in baking. But the law cares about the pods, because those pods can produce sap used to make morphine and other opiates. U.S. authorities treat cultivation seriously. And the hard part is this: the line between ornamental and drug source is a line the law likes to gamble on. That's why this flower can be treated as evidence, even when someone claims they just liked how it looked. The takeaway: the most legally dangerous plant can also be the most innocent-looking one. So what's the big pattern here? 3 forces decide what you can grow: the drug code, public safety, and ecosystem protection. And a plant can be illegal or restricted even if you never planned to harm anyone. Practical advice before you run off to plant something exotic: check your state's invasive species list and controlled substance rules. And if you have kids or pets, treat toxic ornamentals like loaded weapons, because the risk isn't theoretical when curiosity gets involved. Now, tell me in the comments, which plant shocked you the most and which one have you actually seen in someone's yard? Subscribe to Buried Nature Archive if you want the next episode, because next we're getting into banned garden foods making a comeback and the deadliest common yard plants people still plant without realizing what they are.